Hi BookTube and welcome to a new video. This is a tag video. This is the 10 random questions tag. Now I've done 20 random questions, 28 random questions, 50 random questions, 25 more random questions, but I don't recognise the questions here. It's an old tag. I happened to see it on Jason at Byways and Booklands channel, and I thought, yeah, these are some questions I can knock off quite quickly. So, number one, what's your favourite meal? Well, to cook, my favourite meal is pad thai noodles, which you can make with either prawns, tofu or chicken. Now, I don't eat seafood. I'm not a vegetarian, so I make it with chicken. But one day I need to do it with tofu because I've got a couple of tofu dishes in my repertoire, but I've never, for some reason, I've just never got round to doing pad thai noodles with tofu. I cook pad thai about once a week. And in a restaurant, well, my favourite food is bel puri, which is this sort of taste sensation. It's South Indian cooking tradition, which is vegetarian. And in London, in a road called Drummond Street, which is near Euston Square Station, there's 3 bel puri restaurants. And it's just got different tastes and textures. It's got lemon juice, coriander, sort of puff puris, which are sort of like deep fried. They're a bit like crisps, really. Wonderful chutneys. As I say, it's just an explosion of taste and texture, and it is my favourite. I have tried making it myself. I mean, it was fine, but it's nothing like you get in the restaurants. You've got to go for the real thing there. Question 2, what is your favourite song at the moment? Well, it's not any contemporary song because all contemporary music is terrible. So, you know, on a different day, this question will have a different answer. But probably right now, it's the cover version of 100 Weight of Collieweed, which is a reggae song. And it's covered by sort of dub punk band from the 80s called Domination Enterprises. It doesn't exist on vinyl. Irritatingly, so I have to go onto YouTube to play it, to listen to it, because I think it was they cut it as a demo for a release and then they split up, but it's wonderful. Really heavy dub bass. 3, you're given one butt to bite. Whose do you choose? Well, I don't choose anyone in the present era of social distancing because that would definitely be breaking it. And I'm not really sure what this question means, whether it's you bite someone's butt out of anger, which seems a strange move to make, or whether it's you bite someone's butt in sexual play. I know Jason took it for to tick somebody off, you know, to give them a dressing down, but too many to mention. 4, if you could exist in one movie, which movie would you choose? Okay, well, my favourite movie is Apocalypse Now, and there's 2 characters there who I would choose to be either or, because it's a movie about Vietnam, and it's very much about the hallucinatory nature of that war. But the 2 characters who come through completely unscathed are Colonel Kilgore, played by Robert Duvall, with the famous "I love the smell of napalm in the morning" quote. Where he's actually described by Martin Sheen's character, Colonel Willard. Is it Colonel? No, Major Willard, sorry. As, you know, a former sort of, you know, in days gone by, he would have led the cavalry, you know, on their horses, but now he's been given helicopters. But Willard actually says he was the type of guy who would emerge from the war completely unscathed. So definitely him, although he's pretty unpleasant. The other is a character called the Roach. So towards the point at which they're going to cross from Vietnam into Cambodia, there's a bridge at Nam Dong, which every night the Vietnamese destroy and every day the Americans put back up. So it's this sort of crazy, you know, sort of depiction of the kind of meaninglessness of war in that sense. And Willard arrives there at night, and he's taken Lance with him, and Lance is viewing the whole assault on the bridge under the influence of LSD acid, and the colours of the tracer and the fire and everything is extraordinary. And Willard, it's absolute chaos. And Willard sort of he's looking for his orders, which are supposed to have been delivered there. And Willard approaches this soldier in a trench, and he goes, "Who's in charge here?" And the soldier just turns around to him and goes, "Ain't you?" Which is just, a brilliant sort of thing about the whole, no one's in charge, no one's in control. It's completely chaotic and random. But there's a character called the Roach, because the Vietnamese are sort of baiting the Americans from the other side of the bridge by calling out to them, "Hey GI, fuck you," which is actually been sampled at the beginning of the track Kundalini by 23 Skidoo. That's by the by. And so what, they go, "This is one for Roach." So they get this soldier, this sort of black American GI, who has this sort of little mortar gun. It's not like a full-on mortar, it's a handheld mortar gun. And he can't see the guy, he's just listening for the voice. Sort of trains his gun in the direction of the voice, fires it, and then that call stops. And again, you get the feeling that Roach is just made for the survival in the jungle in the worst conditions. So either of those two. Although I do have to say that the answer to this question will contradict one of my answers in the later question. Question 5. You are the president and you get to ban one thing. What would you choose? Well, I'd ban executive government and the ability to make just such a decision in the hands of one person. I am an anarchist, although a somewhat chastened one, because I've always believed that people should rule themselves, and with the onset of online, that we could make plebiscites for everything. We wouldn't need a sort of representative government. We would represent ourselves by just voting on everything and anything. But what you see online in terms of the echo chambers, the hatred, the results of referendums such as Brexit, things like that, seem to bring out the worst in people. So, as I say, I'm a chastened anarchist, because putting power, or the power of decision making, at least in the hands of the populace, hasn't turned out too well in recent years. So I would ban, as Germany does, I would ban plebiscites. Which means I undermine my whole sort of political theoretical belief. Now, Germany banned plebiscites because it was by plebiscite that Hitler came to power. But you can see the logic here in 2020, where what plebiscites have delivered us up to. 6. Do you choose to have the Sorcerer's Stone or Excalibur? Neither. Both are myths, they don't exist. You're not going to go down the high street where, with Excalibur in a scabbard. It's an offensive weapon. You can get nicked for that. 7. Your death. Who do you choose to bump off? Well, the noble answer is I choose to bump myself as death off, because then everyone else would get to live for eternity. They'd be immortal. Hence why I say that's the polar opposite of my answer to the movie and the two characters who would get through the war unscathed. But I'm not noble enough, because I'm not scared of many things, but I am terrified of death. So I don't think I could, will myself to death as death, or commit suicide, or whatever form it would take, even if I could save the whole human race. So apologies on that one. I'm just not brave enough. 8. What indie book deserves worldwide acclaim? I should have pulled this, hang on. I will say it's quite hard these days to know what's truly an independent publishing house, because a lot of them have sort of part ownerships by the bigger ones. I'm fairly confident that Fitzcarraldo editions are independent. This is a primer for Cadavers by Ed Atkins, and it's never going to get worldwide acclaim because it's bloody difficult. Ed Atkins is a visual artist mainly, but he wrote this book and he's got a follow-up which I haven't read, which is just extraordinary poetic language. There's no plot or anything, it's just these visceral descriptions of the human body, which I think is something that he does in his art as well. But in this book he manages to do what he does in visual art, but through the word, which is quite an achievement. But it's tough. It's a tough read. So yeah, there you go. 9. What hidden talent do you have? Well, I don't think I do really. I'm quite good at darts, but you know, I wouldn't say it was a particular talent. As a football, I ended up having to coach my twin boys' football team from about the age of 7 to 14, something like that. And we never won anything, but except we did win the Fair Play Award, not only in our age group, but across the whole Watford Friendly League, which is probably, you know, all age groups, which was probably, I don't know, about 300 teams. So that was quite good. So I guess hopefully I imbued them with, you know, good morals, but not necessarily match-winning morals. You know, you could say that my hidden talent is writing, in the sense that, you know, I'm not the previous questions. No, not that. Yeah, I'm not the previous questions worldwide acclaim in my books. My books are very much on the down low in terms of readership, so it's relatively hidden, even though I try not to hide it. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. 10. You can resurrect one person. Whom do you bring back? Well, I'm torn between 2 writers. One is William Burroughs, but I suspect he wouldn't be interested. You know, if I brought him back, he wouldn't want to talk to me or hang out with me or socialise with me. So, given the risk inherent in that, I'd probably say Samuel Beckett. But the problem with Beckett is, would he actually be grateful to be brought back into life once again, seeing as, you know, he wrote about the existential angst of life? So I don't know. I mean, Beckett would be good company. I don't think he'd reject me out of hand like Burroughs. I don't drink, so he might look down on me because of that. But I think Beckett would be good company. Just ask Andre the Giant. Okay, so there you have it. Thanks to Jason for pointing me to this tag. Till next time, thanks very much.